Have you ever had a DAX error crash your report?
No!
Frankly, they can be frustrating and hard to handle. Uh, and in this video, we're going to be talking through some common functions that you can use to hopefully avoid errors, as well as how to manage them gracefully. So let's jump into Power BI. All right, so here we are in Power BI, and in this visual, I have three measures, all of which have a common error. The first of which is a value error, which means that Power BI is expecting something like an integer, but it's instead getting something like text. The next is a name error, which means Power BI can't find a column. And the final error that we're going to be reviewing is a div by zero error or a division by zero error. So first let's take a look and let's fix all of these measures, and then let's try to figure out some DAX so the measure or the table doesn't break if they happen again. The first error that we have and that we're going to try to fix is a name error. Name errors are the easiest to find and identify because they turn a bright red. Clicking on this measure and looking at this DAX, you can see that I easily have a typo here. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to delete that typo, fixing the field, and click OK. And just like that, our red dot goes away and we no longer have a name error. Now, the value error is a little bit more difficult to fix. So let's take a look at what's happening. As you can see, as I have a number value with cogs, and I'm trying to take the max of the product table. In this case, I'm taking product name. Now, this could be a typo. It could not be, but I'm going to fix it by changing this to product list, which is an integer, or list price, which is an integer, and that should fix our value error. And as you can see, we now are getting a value. So the next error that we need to fix is our div by zero error. As you can see, this is currently returning infinity, and the best way to fix this is to use divide. So the divide function, if we go over here and we type in divide, you first have to set your numerator, then your denominator, and then an alternate value if it runs into an error, like we just did. So fixing this should have it now return 0, which is really what it should be, or what we want to display if we're dividing by 0. Now, fixing errors when you know they're happening is great, but what if you don't know that they're going to happen? What if you have possibly bad data coming into your Power BI model? What can you do? Well, there's a few additional functions that you can use. So the first one is going to be an if error, right? And if you go if error, you can then essentially provide a value and then have it return is a message that's maybe a little bit more descriptive than infinity. So like divide by or division by 0, right? And if I go back to my old formula here and remove this and then click OK, you'll see that it's now actually handling that error for me and telling me the problem. The next function that we have is a similar one, but it's is_error. So is_error essentially returns a true or a false if there's an error, which is really useful in a switch statement. So one of the things you could then do is you can start to build out these complex if this then that or switch functions that actually kind of handle the error on their own, depending on what the error message is that you're running into. So I hope you learned a little something about errors and how to manage them in Power BI in this video. If you did, please consider subscribing and liking the video. It really helps me and the channel grow. And if you're interested in learning a little bit more about me or what I do, feel free to check out my LinkedIn down in the video description. Thanks for watching.